Some analysts say that this economic despair is creating a vehicle towards totalitarianism, which was evident during the Great Depression. But during that depression, the nation had strong labor unions and a vibrant independent press. Without those traditional tools, what might we face in the coming years? Chris Hedges is the author of American Fascists, The Christian Right and the War on America, and a Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist. He's pessimistic about what he says is a growing movement towards fascism in the U.S.
We are certainly entering a period that will resemble in many ways the period of the Great Depression in the 1930s. And you saw in the 1930s a rise of radical right-wing forces. Father Coughlin, the Klan, huge industrialists, people like Henry Ford, Lindbergh, all sorts of figures openly embraced fascism. And many business publications, Fortune magazine in 1934 put Mussolini on the cover and praised the Italian dictator for defanging labor unions and empowering industrialists. But we had powerful counterforces within the society, first and foremost labor unions, which gave progressive democratic movements a kind of organizational base on the ground that we no longer lack. And we had an independent press. We did not have a corporatized press. I mean, it's about 6 or 8 corporations that now determine almost everything we see, hear, and read. The destruction of labor, the destruction of our socialist movement, you can, I think, with some legitimacy, credit Eugene Debs and the socialist movement for the New Deal. Roosevelt was seen as a moderating factor, not a radical figure in any way. And because the left in this country has thrown their lot in with the Democratic Party, which has betrayed the working class, thrust a knife in the back of the working class, it's lost political credibility, it's lost organizing power, and because we have a corporatized media, it's lost the ability to have a voice. So what I fear is that as things deteriorate, and look, an economic crisis always leads to a political crisis, we will find ourselves very ineffectual in dealing with very rapacious right-wing Christian forces that are physically located within these communities. And of course, what does poverty and despair do? It destroys community, physically destroys community, and they have set up faux communities, authoritarian communities, where you can go and have a brunch and go to a service and go bowling and go to your AA meeting and have child care, but you have to submit to the totalitarian structure, which is always white, male, pastors who are in direct contact with God and cannot be questioned. And it is this power structure that they impose on the family with a dominant male, a subservient woman, the obedient children. It's the power structure that they enforce within their own congregations, and it is the power structure that they would like to propagate within the community and the state itself. I worry that we are headed for a time of social, economic, and political dislocation, and the tools, we've stripped ourselves of the tools by which it's not completely our fault. I mean, the corporatization of media was a gift of Bill Clinton and the destruction of the FCC, but I think we just don't have the tools that we used to have to fight back. And when you get out in the street, as we saw in the Republican and Democratic conventions, what happens? The twin face, or the other side of the face of the corporate state, is the surveillance state. The capacity to ruthlessly crush dissent is greatly enhanced and very difficult to thwart.
Chris Hedges is the author of American Fascists, The Christian Right and the War on America, and a Pulitzer Prize-winning author.